Hey guys, it's oSgtKickAss here and welcome back to this video. We are back with another ERB and it will be one of two, so there's one today and then one on Saturday as usual. But the reason I'm doing this today is because it is Bonfire Night here in the UK. So what Bonfire Night is basically we just set off a load of fireworks and we build big bonfires and we throw effigies of Guy Fawkes on it. So Guy Fawkes is one of the people in this, Guy Fawkes versus Che Guevara. And basically, Guy Fawkes tried to, he was a group, he was part of a group who tried to blow up Parliament to kill James I because England and at the time was under a Protestant rule and they were Catholic, so they basically tried to assassinate James I and loads of other people so that they could start a revolt and take over the country. But yet he was caught before they actually were successful in blowing up Parliament, so that's why we set fireworks off, I guess, because they explode like they tried to do to Parliament, guys. But yeah, guys, I'm sure it's going to be great, so let's get straight into it. So as always, I like it. So Guy Fawkes, he's got the Guy Fawkes mask at the start, pulls it down, and then Che Guevara dressed in his gorilla suit, like the gorilla soldier suit. I like it. Nice.
Give out of the terror, fresh kangaroo wearer, ill rhyme slayer from the 60s era.
So yeah, Guevara the Terror, that was what he was known as sometimes, because he was feared because of how which is a revolt. He led the revolt basically in Cuba. So yeah. Fresh Kango wearer, he was known for wearing his Kango hat, and then ill rhyme slayer. So obviously saying he throws out ill rhymes of the 60s era, which is when he was most at the thing. I think that's when he wrote Guerrilla Warfare, I believe that's 60, 61 sort of time was released, so of the 60s era.
Give out of the terror, fresh kangaroo wearer, ill rhyme slayer from the 60s era. Revolting, heavy metal rebel blood spiller. Me and my gorillas are a squad of killers.
There we go, so heavy metal rebel blood spiller. So yeah, they were rebels and took over Cuba for communism, and then they sort of had to fight off other rebel groups from Cuba who had escaped, and then the Bay of Pigs, that was a whole mess that went wrong for America and Cuban people. So yeah, but then heavy metal bands, a lot of them have actually been inspired and they sort of follow communism and Guevara's message of counter establishment and things like that, and against against capitalism and stuff like that. So heavy metal. And then me and my gorillas are a squad of killers. So yeah, he had his guerrilla soldiers, and they were basically just his soldiers that were just really, really good, and he had guerrilla squads and things like that. So that's where guerrilla comes from. I don't know why they're called that. I'm sure there is a reason, but I can't think of what it is myself.
Revolting, heavy metal rebel blood spiller. Me and my gorillas are a squad of killers. Known worldwide for my steely-eyed look. You're famous because of Alamore's third best book.
I'm known worldwide for my steely-eyed look. So yeah, obviously there's magnets and there's pictures, and everyone knows what the Guevara picture is for his steely-eyed look, and there's that one famous picture of him, and then you're famous because of Alan Moore's third best book. So yeah, V for Vendetta, Alan Moore wrote, and it's about someone who's a bit like Guy Fawkes, tries to take down the government, but yeah, it's they use the Guy Fawkes mask that we've all seen and stuff, like the epic fail guy meme and stuff. They wear the Guy Fawkes mask. That's what it sounds. So it's you're only famous because of the Guy Fawkes mask in V for Vendetta, and I'm famous for being this big revolt leader who's incredible. But yeah, Alan Moore wrote other books. I think it's Batman the Last Joke, I believe, and then there's Watchmen and things like that. So he's saying those two are even better than yours, so you're just the third best book, you're not even top two.
Known worldwide for my steely-eyed look. You're famous because of Alamore's third best book. And all the children say we will be like Che. Asthmatic, but I'll take your breath away.
So yeah, all the children say we will be like Che. So in Cuba, there's a little song that kids learn and stuff and sing it in playgrounds and stuff, and it does actually say we will be like Che in it, and it's about communism and things like that. So yeah, all the children say we'll be like Che. So how will we be like Che? Asthmatic, So yeah, he's asthmatic. He had asthma. Asthma obviously takes your breath away. So, but I'll take your breath away. So that could mean two things. It could mean his rhymes are so good, he'll shock, like he'll make thingy breathtaking because he's like, oh my god, that's so good. Or he'll take a breath away by murdering him brutally. So there you go. Nice few meanings on that one.
All the children say we will be like Che, asthmatic, but I'll take your breath away. You tried to rebel against James the First. Here's a tip for your next plot. Try to rehearse.
Shit. Yeah, so like I said, he tried to revolt against James I. He tried to blow up the House of Parliament with James I in it to start a revolt of the Catholics to take down the Protestants. And he's like, yeah, but next time, try to rehearse on your next plot, because he was caught before he'd even blown up, a few days before he blew up actually. The story always goes he was caught like hours before doing it, but it was actually like a few days, I believe. But yeah, basically the story is the 13th member. There was a group of 12 of them, and then they finally got the 13th member. But he actually knew someone in Parliament who was going to be there that day, so he was like, oh, don't go in that day. And then he thought that was a bit suspicious, and they eventually found all the gunpowder barrels underneath Parliament before they could actually blow it up. So it's like, here's a tip for you next verse: try to rehearse before you actually, before you do it, because then you might not fail and completely, fuck it up completely and not succeed. Whereas he did, obviously, lead a very successful revolt.
You tried to rebel against James the First. Here's a tip for your next plot. Try to rehearse. I got my face on a magnet on your roommate's fridge. Your head is on a spike up on London Bridge.
So yeah, I've got my face on your on a magnet on your roommate's fridge. So obviously, there's a lot of things about Che Guevara and stuff on magnets and posters and stuff, and people who are slightly communist and stuff and anti-capitalism. He's like the big poster boy for it. But the thing is, the confusing thing about this is he's sold on magnets and stuff. He was communist, which means he's very much against capitalism. So him saying, oh yeah, look, I'm on a magnet on a fridge and stuff, that's something he'd be against. So I'm not really sure what's going on there, but yeah, my face on a magnet, your head's on a spike on London Bridge. So yeah, obviously he was caught, he was done for treason. They chopped his head off, as they used to do back then. I think they were going to hung and quarter him before he killed himself, but yeah, basically they chopped his head off and then stuck it on a spike on London Bridge with the rest of the traitors' heads at the time. There you go.
I got my face on a magnet on your roommate's fridge. Your head is on a spike up on London Bridge. You had one job, cabron, to strike a matchstick. Got caught with the fuse like your boss. Not lit.
You had one job, cabron, to strike a matchstick. So yeah, basically cabron is it dumbass in Spanish? So Cuba obviously speaks Spanish. I believe it's dumbass. So he's like, you had one job, all you had to do was strike a matchstick, but you were caught in the act. Like your bars, they're not lit. So yeah, being caught before you could do it, like your match, it wasn't lit because you weren't ready to blow it up yet, and your bars were exactly like that. They weren't lit because they basically just say his bars are shit and they're not lit, they're not fire like his are. Very good. Very, very good.
You had one job, cabron, to strike a matchstick. Got caught with the fuse like your boss. Not lit. You should have stayed anonymous, epic fail guy.
So, you should have said anonymous, epic fail guy. Two little memes there. So, V for Vendetta again. I've spoke about the Guy Fawkes mask. Anonymous, the hacking group, have that mask, the Guy Fawkes mask. So, you should have stayed anonymous. Also, he shouldn't have said who he was, because then they wouldn't have been able to figure out who he was working with or tortured him and tried to get information out of him. So you should have stayed anonymous. And then epic fail guy. So epic fail guy is a meme on the internet and stuff. Someone does fails epically. Epic fail guy is like a guy with the Guy Fawkes mask on again. Very good.
Got caught with the fuse like your boss. Not lit. You should have stayed anonymous, epic fail guy. Treat this battle like the gallows and take another dive.
Shit. So treat this battle like the gallows, take another dive. So yes, Guy Fawkes was going to be hung, drawn and quartered. We've already said about this, but they actually didn't get to hang him, because as they were taking him up to the gallows, where you obviously you dropped and you're hung, he actually jumped off it, his neck snapped his neck and died. So it's like, take another dive. If you take a dive in a competition like sport or a rap battle, obviously in this case, it basically says you throw it away so that you don't get too badly fucked up. So yeah, he's like, take this treat it like the gallows and just take another dive, because you dive from the gallows because you don't want to be hung, drawn and quartered.
You should have stayed anonymous, epic fail guy. Treat this battle like the gallows and take another dive.
As a communist, it must really hurt that your face has been cheapened, weakened, besmirched, being plastered on posters, coasters and shirts, making capitalists rich off of you on Mars.
There we go. It's like I said, basically, yeah, he's on posters, t-shirts, magnets and stuff like this. The picture of Che Guevara is very famous, and it's like, you were a communist. Why are you bragging about this? Because as a communist, you're against capitalists being rich and making loads of money for them, just them, off of it. So they're making it off of you, off of a complete communist, and that should just piss you off completely.
Smirch being plastered on posters, coasters and shirts, making capitalists rich off of you on merch. Right, I'm a pious man and I fight for the Lord. I would cut you, but I don't want your sweat on my sword.
So yeah, basically, he's like, I'm a pious man and I fight for the Lord. So basically, Guy Fawkes, like I've said, the group that they were fighting, he was doing it for, was he was Catholic. The Catholics were trying to do it and stuff. And yeah, so he's basically saying, I fight for the Lord. I don't fight for you. I don't fight for just nothing. I fight for God, the almighty power. And I'd cut you, but I don't want to get all your nasty sweat on your sword, because obviously he was fighting in Cuba with the hat on, so he would be very sweaty. Very good.
Right, I'm a pious man and I fight for the Lord. I would cut you, but I don't want your sweat on my sword. I was tortured until I could hardly sign my name, and listening to you felt pretty much the same.
So yeah, he basically, when they found him, they knew he was part of a bigger group because of how big the plot was. They knew it couldn't have just been him, so they tortured him, they stretched him, they did everything they could to try and get the names out of him of who it was. Eventually he did give in, I believe. But yeah, he could barely, like, he was so badly messed up in the end that, like, when they were after tortured him, they could actually barely say his name, and it's very unrecognisable. It was actually him. But yeah. And he's like, basically, but having to listen to you rap, pretty much as bad as that, mate.
I was tortured until I could hardly sign my name, and listening to you felt pretty much the same. Ooh, face it, Ernesto, you're Castro, but less so. He's Cuba commander, you're more of the devil.
So, face it, Ernesto was Che Guevara's first name. He was called Ernesto. So, you're Castro, but less so. So Fidel Castro was the one who actually took power of Cuba after Guevara fought for it, and I think Fidel Castro was in charge for, was about 50 years nearly, 50 years that he was in charge for, after Che Guevara helped him take over Cuba, made it communist and stuff. So he's like, you're Castro but less so, because you're below Castro, and he's Cuban commander, you're more of a destro. So this is a G.I. Joe reference. So Cobra Command, Cuban commander, Cobra Commander, there we go, that's where you get that bit. And you're more of a destro. So Cobra actually hired Destro, who was like a mercenary, to work for them to try and kill all the G.I. Joe, like all the Joes, G.I. Joe and stuff like that. So nice little G.I. Joe reference, which is a bit niche, but you know, it works.
It's Ernesto, you're Castro, but less so. He's Cuba commander, you're more of the destro. Revolt all you want, I don't give two Guy Fawkes. But look at Venezuela, what you fighting for, son?
Ooh. Yeah. That's not good. So yeah, look at Venezuela. So fight all you want, I don't give no. Two Fawkes. It's basically saying they didn't give two fucks about what Che does if he's fighting and stuff, but Fawkes, because that's his last name, so I don't give two Guy Fawkes. And then look at Venezuela, what you're fighting for. So Venezuela is communist, and it has a lot of problems when it was communist and stuff, Venezuela. So he's like, you're fighting to make Cuba communist, but look at Venezuela, it's not doing so well under being communist.
Revolt all you want, I don't give two Guy Fawkes. But look at Venezuela, what you fighting for, sucks.
Sucks. Guy, you died for the Catholics. A group with a bad touching little boys habit.
Oh shit. No. Fucking hell. Sucks, Guy, you died for the Catholics. A group with a bad touching little boys habit. So yeah, obviously it's the thing of all the Catholic priests and stuff being touching little boys and all the little choir boys and things like that. There's the whole all Catholic priests are paedophiles for little boys sort of thing that goes around. I think that's where sucks comes into it. So he's like, yeah, you're saying I suck for fighting for communists, but you're fighting for something that sucks in a different way, if you know what I mean. Basically saying he wants the Catholics want little boys to suck them off. That's what he's saying. That's what he's getting at there. So yeah, a group with a bad touching little boy habit.
Sucks. Guy, you died for the Catholics. A group with a bad touching little boys habit. And this porn star pilgrim look. What's up with that? It's more like me, a very bad hat. Oh.
Fuck's sake. So, what's this porn star pilgrim look? What's up with that? So he obviously looks like a pilgrim and a porn star version of it, apparently. It's more like V for very bad hat. So V for Vendetta, like I've said, it has the Guy Fawkes mask. So V, obviously that, flicking the V, we all know what that is. So yeah, it's like an insult the British used to do to the French because of the bows and stuff. They used to chop the fingers off. So it's basically like saying fuck off. But then it's more like V for very bad hat because he's got a bad hat instead of V for Vendetta, V for very bad hat. Oh dear.
This porn star pilgrim look. What's up with that? It's more like V for very bad hat. Oh, what's the fuck say now?
Was that what does the fox say reference? The yeah.
V for very bad hat. Oh, what's the fuck say now?
It is. So if you remember, fucking hell, what was it? 2013, 2014. What does the fox say? And a load of noise that the fox doesn't make. So it's basically, instead of what does the fox say, what's the forks say now?
It's more like V for very bad hat. Oh, what's the fox say now? When they cut your junk out.
There you go, when they cut your junk out, because they were meant to chop his his testicles off and then disembowel him after they hung him. But obviously he killed himself before they could hang him, so they couldn't do a lot of it. But there you go. So what does the fork say now when they cut your junk out?
Oh, what's the fox say now? When they cut your junk out. I'm the hardest Marxist ever graced a banknote. You're an error-prone terrorist, penny for the scapegoat.
So I'm the hardest Marxist ever graced a banknote. So yes, in Cuba he was put on a banknote. Che Guevara, what was it? Was it the 3 peso? No? Something like that anyway. But yeah, he was put on a banknote. He actually works as a financial advisor and stuff in the National Bank of Cuba and stuff like that as well. The less said about that, the better. But yeah, I'm the hardest Marxist ever banknote. You're a penniless thing, penny for the scapegoat. So basically, yeah, Guy Fawkes was the scapegoat. He was the one that was meant to light the match and stuff and blow up Parliament. So he was always the one that was going to take the fall if they were caught. So that's what they're trying to basically saying. You're just a scapegoat. That's the only reason you were there.
I'm the hardest Marxist ever graced a banknote. You're an
error-prone terrorist. He was a terrorist. He tried to blow up Parliament, but obviously there was an error. He couldn't do it because the plot was found out before it was due.
Prone terrorist, penny for the scapegoat.
Don't try to boast about your banknotes with Guido. You muddled your economy like mint in a mojito.
Don't talk banknotes with me, Guido. So yeah, like I said, he was financial advisor, and he really fucked up Cuba's banking system and the financial stuff. So you muddled your economy like mint in a mojito. Mojito, obviously a drink from Cuba. Mint goes in it, and you have to muddle the mint before you do it. So he's like, you muddled with your economy. Muddled means like fucking up as well. You say you fucked up your economy and messed it up more than a mint in a mojito. Very good.
Don't try to boast about your banknotes with Guido. You muddled your economy like mint in a mojito. This very battle disproves your communist initiative. These rhyme skills are not evenly distributed.
Ooh, that's good. This whole battle disproves your communist initiative because these rhyme skills aren't evenly distributed. So yeah, communism basically wants everyone to be equal and have the same amount of food and stuff like that, and so there's no like people who are better and above everyone else. So yeah, this whole battle proves that your communist initiatives isn't true because I've got better rhyme skills than you. Very nice.
This very battle disproves your communist initiative. These rhyme skills are not evenly distributed. I'm Catholic, I've got mass when I'm rapping.
I'm Catholic, I've got mass when I'm rapping. So basically saying his bars hit hard, but Catholics have mass as well. It's like, I can't remember what mass is exactly, but basically I think it's just like when they're praying and stuff. So this I'm Catholic, I've got mass, Catholic mass when I'm rapping. Very good.
These rhyme skills are not evenly distributed. I'm Catholic, I've got mass when I'm rapping. You're an chain, that's Bay of Pigs Latin.
Oh shit. You're Che, that's Bay of Pigs Latin. Fuck me sideways, that's incredible. You're an Che. So, Che seems a bit weird at first, but let me explain. It's Bay of Pigs Latin. I've already gone through what Bay of Pigs is. Briefly, so Bay of Pigs, basically, America trained loads of people who had to defect from Cuba because of government persecution, and they basically fled to to Florida, and they trained them up to be really good soldiers, and they basically tried to it's called Bay of Pigs. They basically tried to take back Cuba and revolt, like with the backing of the American, like the FBI and things like that. It went really badly. It was a fucking shit show. Less said about that for America, the better. But Pigs Latin, it's a believe Old English sort of this time, possibly, like coding and things. So what they do is they took the first like consonant or last few or like first cluster of consonants, put them to the back of the word, and they'd add a on the end, like EY or a and things like that. So there we go. He's basically calling him a chump, but Che is what Che chump would become. So Che, that's Bay of Pigs, Pigs Latin. Beautiful. And I believe back in that time, they had to learn Latin, all of priests back in that sort of time, because obviously with the Catholic Church and stuff and the Pope, they had to know Latin. Very good.
I'm Catholic, I've got mass when I'm rapping. You're an chain, that's Bay of Pigs Latin.
Nice.
After what just happened, you should retire. Is it the 5th of November? Cause I'm on fire!
Oh, there we go. Like I said, so is it the 5th of November because I'm on fire? Basically saying his rhymes are on fire and stuff. But is it the 5th of November because I'm on fire? Because obviously we throw the effigies of Guy Fawkes on the bonfires. Very, very good, guys. That was really good. That was very close as well, guys. But let's get into who won. Right, guys, for me, the winner of the battle has to be Che Guevara. It's a very close one for me, and I think Guy Fawkes had a hell of a good second verse, with the Bay of Pigs Latin and lines like that. But I think overall, Che was just a little bit better and had the better lines and stuff like that. Bit good flow as well. Both of them had good flow as always with the ERB. But for me, it does just have to go to Che Guevara. So yeah, guys. I hope you did enjoy this video. As I said, there will be another ERB out tomorrow, and it will be Ronald McDonald versus the Burger King. So I'm excited. I'm looking forward to that one. So yeah, that will be out tomorrow. And as always, there'll be another video on Tuesday. But yeah, guys, I hope you did enjoy this video. If you did, hit subscribe with bell notifications turned on, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.